Yeah, definitely Season 4 just scorched earth. Isn't it surprising for how long it takes for some people to realize certain things? Take for instance The Boys. It's been around for a while. It's always been political, but only now are some people catching on. And it's not just any people, mostly conservatives who finally see that this show might not be singing their tune. Have you ever watched something and felt like it was speaking directly to you? This show does exactly that, especially this season. It takes all the messed up stuff happening in our world, wraps it up in satire, and delivers it in a comical and gruesome way. It's like a weird prescription from the doctor, something you didn't know that you needed but turns out to be just right. The writing is sharp, witty, and hits the nail on the head every time. You know those moments when a character says something and you just nod in agreement because it is so spot on. This show is full of those moments. The Boys Season 4 leaves an impression, makes you think about the world around you, and maybe even inspires you to think differently about things. It's more than just entertainment. It's a mirror reflecting society's highs and lows. Remember when Butcher started taking Temp V regularly? He was warned over and over again that it would lead to an early death if he didn't stop. Now the grim prediction is coming true. Butcher only has 6 months to live. So, why is Butcher so determined this season? It all goes back to Becca, the love of his life. Butcher feels he owes her a debt. He doesn't want Ryan to fall into the hands of Homelander. Becca was horrified of what Homelander could turn Ryan into, and honestly, can we blame her? Homelander is a force of chaos and destruction. Ryan has the same potential, and Butcher is dead set on ensuring that doesn't happen. While the rest of the boys are busy with their own missions, supporting Starlight, preventing Homelander's regime from spreading, and bringing down Newman, Butcher seems more focused on his own personal battles. And who can blame him? He's been through the ringer, and now he's literally counting down the days. It's his last dance, his final mission to set things right before he goes. But Butcher is usually the tough guy, right? The one who seems almost invincible, but now he's at his weakest. We know Butcher cares deeply about Ryan. Losing Ryan's trust must be like a punch to the gut for him. If you had one chance to make things right with someone you love, how far would you go? And that's why I think Butcher isn't going to leave us without ensuring Ryan's safety. If you ask me, Butcher's fate will be sealed in either the penultimate episode or the series finale. But what about Homelander? The first 3 episodes of Season 4 show that even he is not the same Homelander we used to know. You know what I think? Like Butcher, Homelander doesn't have much time left. Homelander craves love and admiration, and while he gets plenty of that from the public, there's a huge void in his heart. Why? Because the one person whose love he desires most, his son Ryan, isn't giving it to him. Ryan's human side, filled with empathy and remorse, often clashes with Homelander's desires. Have you ever wanted something so much only to find out it's just out of reach? That's the pain Homelander is experiencing. Another thing weighing on Homelander is his age. Imagine being the most powerful person on the planet but feeling helpless against the inevitable march of time. His gray hair and need for de-aging VFX are constant reminders that he's not the man he once was. His looks and youth have always been a big part of his identity, and losing them is driving him to a breaking point. He even started to store his fallen pubic hair. I know, nothing unusual for Homelander. Homelander's relationship with his son Ryan also reveals his deep-seated insecurities. He wants Ryan to succeed, but not at the expense of overshadowing him. This ego-driven conflict was clear when Homelander showed up at a crime scene where Ryan was supposed to be the hero. It's like he can't let anyone, not even his own son, steal the spotlight. If you've watched the 3 episodes of Season 4, you know that Homelander made Sister Sage his second-hand and advisor. For your information, Sister Sage is the smartest person in the world. And knowing Homelander, he will definitely betray Sage, mark my words. Then there's the ultimate mission, Soup Supremacy. Homelander believes that superhumans should be ruling the world, viewing ordinary humans as mere playthings. He's pushing for Victoria Newman and Singer to rise to power, aiming for a world where soups govern every aspect of life. How scary is that idea? And the people cheering for him have no clue about his true intentions. But perhaps the most gripping aspect of Homelander's journey is the battle within his own mind. Remember the previous season where he struggled with an alternate personality? That battle seems to be resurfacing, indicating that his past demons are far from defeated. Isn't it fascinating how our past can come back to haunt us, no matter how much we try to escape it? Homelander's need to confront his origin suggests we're about to learn a lot more about his backstory, just like the other characters dealing with their past. Kamiko with the Shining Light organization, Frenchie with his dark deeds, Butcher with his lost love Becca, and even Huey reconnecting with his mother. Homelander's journey back to his roots promises to be a pivotal part of this season. Now, here's where things got really interesting. Butcher mentioned a virus to Newman at the first chance he got. This virus could play a significant role in the drama. How will this affect the already complex dynamics? It's another layer of intrigue. So, Vought first created Compound V to give people powers. Then they made Temp V, which gives temporary powers but has bad side effects. In Gen V, we see students at Godolphin University, Marie, Andre, Jordan, and Emma, discovering that their school is actually a front for Vought. It used to manipulate young superheroes and test new medicines and technologies on them in a secret place called the Woods. Gen V happens around the same time as Season 3 of The Boys, setting up for Season 4. By the end of Gen V, a virus created by Dr. Cardosa becomes a major threat. This virus, now in the hand of Congresswoman Victoria Newman, targets superheroes, causing flu-like symptoms, intense pain, pus-filled sacs, internal bleeding, and death. It's meant to take care of problematic superheroes, but it is not strong enough to kill a high-level soup like Homelander. Thankfully, this virus isn't super contagious. It spreads only through bodily fluids. However, Dean Shetty of Godolphin University wanted Cardosa to make it airborne, which could have wiped out all soups and become a global threat. Even though the airborne version wasn't made, the current virus is still a powerful weapon for Newman. Newman wouldn't want an airborne version that could kill her and her daughter, who are also soups. But she might want to use the virus against enemies her head-exploding powers can't handle. This virus changes everything because it's a deadly solution for many of Vaught's problems. It could potentially be made strong enough to kill even Homelander. But is the risk of every other soup worth it? Plus, there's no cure. So, how will Newman use this virus? What if it falls into the hands of someone like Butcher, who hates soups? Things could get very dangerous before the series wraps up in Season 5. And to think, it all started with Cardosa and Gen V. But do you ever wonder who will finally put an end to Homelander's reign of terror? Well, here's an intriguing idea. What if it's Ryan who finishes off Homelander? Imagine the twist. Right now, their relationship is on a downward spiral. Ryan is beginning to see Homelander for who he really is, an evil narcissist. Ryan teaming up with Butcher could be the ultimate game changer. Butcher has always been on a mission to take down Homelander, but what if Ryan becomes the missing piece to the puzzle? The idea is thrilling, don't you think? But let's not forget, Ryan still needs to grow up and train. He's got the potential, no doubt, but potential needs to be honed. Can he really be ready in time to face someone as powerful as Homelander? And what about Soldier Boy? He's back in his slumber. Does that leave the playing field open for Ryan? It certainly adds another layer of suspense, but here's one thing I should mention. That rumor says that Soldier Boy is definitely coming back later in the season, so brace yourself for the ultimate chaos. Of course, this is all just a theory. I might be completely wrong, but isn't it fun to speculate? Could Ryan, the boy with the same powerful DNA, be the one to bring down Homelander for good? What do you think? Moreover, there's a weird thing we spotted about Sister Sage. Sister Sage, the brainiac of the Seven, goes and does the unthinkable, lobotomizes herself. Yeah, you heard it right. This super smart, always ahead of the game character decides to take a sharp turn and literally alters her own brain? We noticed a blood-stained tool lying beside her. It's like a scene from a psychological thriller rather than the usual superhero flick. But why would someone so sharp mess with their own mind? That's the million-dollar question buzzing in everyone's mind, but hers because she cut it out. Fans are split down the middle. Some think Sister Sage might have cracked under the pressure. I mean, being part of the Seven is no walk in the park, especially with Homelander breathing down your neck. Others speculate she's playing a long game, maybe trying to throw off her enemies or even her allies. And then there's the fallout within the Seven. Homelander isn't likely to take this lightly. He thrives on power and control. Sister Sage's stunt could be seen as a direct challenge to his authority. But is this lobotomy a permanent game changer, or just a temporary glitch in her superhero career? Reports say that her brain's got some regeneration mojo going on, so maybe she'll bounce back even smarter than before. Or maybe this is her chance to explore life from a different angle, to grow in ways she's never imagined. The writers are clearly playing the long game here. They've taken a character known for her smarts and thrown her into uncharted waters. It's not just about action scenes and special effects. It's about diving deep into what makes these characters tick, what drives them to make these jaw-dropping decisions. By the way, I am just stunned that the team behind The Boys kept Jeffrey Dean Morgan's role in Season 4 mostly a secret. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, known from Supernatural, makes his debut as Joe Kessler in the first episode. Kessler is a character from The Boys comic and is a former colleague of Butcher's. He shares a lot of Butcher's hatred of superheroes. Everyone else in The Boys tries to pull Butcher back, so we wanted to see what would happen if he worked with someone who pushes him forward. In the comics, Kessler is a CIA analyst and one of Butcher's main sources of information on superheroes. His nickname, Monkey, comes from a disturbing incident involving green monkeys at a brothel. It's The Boys, so what do you expect? It's weird stuff. But now, I have to talk about A-Train. You know, A-Train has been through quite a ride in the series so far. From facing off with Starlight to grappling with losing his powers temporarily, he's had his fair share of close calls. But this season, it feels like things are really heating up for him. A-Train is still kicking and alive, but now carrying a hefty load of guilt on his shoulders. All those murders and wrongdoings from his past are catching up with him. And what does he do? He decides to turn informant for the boys. He starts leaking crucial evidence, helping out Huey and Annie and shaking things up big time. But A-Train's not just playing spy for fun. By going against Homelander and Vought, he's painting a massive target on his back. I mean, seriously, when Homelander catches wind of A-Train's betrayal, it's going to be fireworks. And not the good kind. Homelander's got the power and the rage to squash A-Train like a bug, no matter how fast he runs. A-Train could be running for his life, literally across the globe, and Homelander could still catch up. So, will this season mark the end of the line for our speedster hero? One thing's for sure, The Boys doesn't hold back on the drama. Every episode leaves us wondering who's next to bite the dust.